there was a man in the crowd I'm going to call Brown Shirt Man. I want to give credit to all the internet sleuths who have been talking about this. I want to especially thank an internet sleuth named Jeff Renz for putting a lot of this information together. And also thank you to another internet sleuth, Dave from Kansas, for helping me research this. Also, I have to give credit to journalist Stu Peters, who's one of the first people to talk about Brown Shirt Man. Here is another angle of the shooting.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
I am blacking out Charlie Kirk. This is the moment of the gunshot. Who is this guy? My understanding is that this is someone named Rick Cutler. I have not seen this man in video of other Charlie Kirk events, so it appears that he is a new member of the security team. But if he is in security, why would he be stationed behind the barriers? Am I the only person who thinks this is suspicious? He's wearing a brown shirt. I would say he's 30 to 40 years old. He looks like a military guy. You know how people in the military have a certain look? Brown Shirt Man looks like a military guy. Here's another close-up of the Brown Shirt Man from the event. You can see he has a unique tattoo on his arm. This person right here is Frank Turek, who is a pastor who works with TPUSA Faith. A lot of people have been wondering why he's holding his cell phone this way. Frank Turek claims he was on FaceTime. This does not look like a FaceTime call to me. This looks like he is recording video footage. These are 3 angles. Just so you can understand where Frank Turek is. Frank Turek is pointing his cell phone camera directly at Brown Shirt Man. So I started looking more closely at Brown Shirt Man. Something that strikes me as odd are these sunglasses. These are massive, bulky sunglasses. I realize that military men tend to like to wear large aviator-style sunglasses. But even for aviator sunglasses, these are pretty bulky. The lenses are big, the frames themselves are really bulky. I bring this up because one thing you would want in a high-profile assassination is a laser sight on your gun to make sure you do not miss the target. One thing that militaries use is infrared lasers. These are lasers that are invisible to the human eye, but can be seen when viewed through IR glasses. Now normally, IR glasses are massive goggles. But this is something that we know DARPA has been working on. DARPA is the top secret research and development group for the US military. They've been working on something called the Envision program. These would be normal-looking sunglasses that can see IR lasers even in full sunlight. Here's what it would look like. You can see the laser sight here. So someone could aim their laser sight at Charlie Kirk's neck, and no one would be able to see the laser except for the person wearing the special sunglasses. I think these sunglasses look very suspicious, and someone should inspect them. If we continue to watch Brown Shirt Man, I also find the way that he is standing very strange. Who stands this way? If you were at the front row of an event, would you stand like this? It looks like he's bracing himself with one hand on the barrier and then using his arm to steady his other hand. If we zoom into a close-up of his hand, his fingers are spread slightly apart, and it looks like something is poking through his fingers. The thing poking through his fingers is aimed in a direct line to the bullet hole in Charlie Kirk's neck. Does anyone find this suspicious? Something that assassins are known to use is called a palm pistol. This is a small circular item you can hold in the palm of your hand. You would let the barrel of the gun poke out through your fingers, just like what we see with Brown Shirt Man. And you fire the gun by twitching your hand because your palm activates the trigger. I have to say that people have other theories as well. Some people suspect that the twitch of this man's hand is not pulling a trigger mechanism, but instead detonating an explosive device in Charlie Kirk's lapel microphone. But with either theory, people are starting to notice that the movements of Brown Shirt Man look suspicious. If you still do not believe me, take a look at this. 5 minutes before the shot happens, Brown Shirt Man gives a hand signal.
Here you have the shooter signaling to someone else saying, 5 minutes until the shot. And look carefully who is watching the signal. Watch again. Here the man in the blue shirt turns on his video glasses. I only know this because I have the same glasses. A minute later, he signals 4-minute mark.
So Brown Shirt Man is counting down to the shot. He signals 5 minutes, 4 minutes, then gets into position where he raises his hand to his arm. Am I the only person who finds this suspicious? Come on, people. He's literally counting down 5 minutes before the shot takes place. Dan Flood does the final hand signal, the van trunk opens, the shot goes off, and Charlie Kirk falls down. Then after the shot, Brown Shirt Man runs over to Charlie Kirk and kneels down next to Brian Harpole. They carry Charlie Kirk's body into a nearby SUV. Do you notice anything strange about this photo? In the back pocket of Brown Shirt Man, we see the shape of what looks exactly like a palm pistol. Does anybody find this suspicious? Can the Brown Shirt Man please explain what was in his pocket? Because it looks like to me like he has the outline of the murder weapon in his back pocket. Now, to be clear, I cannot say for sure that Brown Shirt Man murdered Charlie Kirk. This is all circumstantial evidence. I'm trying to figure this out from the limited video footage we have because the police is not investigating this. There are other people with credible theories about what happened that day. For instance, another investigator, Baron Coleman, does not believe the palm gun theory, and he thinks some form of electrocution was used. We do not have all the details, and I am still open to other explanations about what happened. But my opinion, even if we don't have all the facts figured out, this looks like a full-scale military operation. We need a full investigation. We need congressional hearings. One of the questions everyone keeps asking is why Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, is not investigating any of these leads. Why isn't he looking into Brown Shirt Man? Why isn't he investigating Turning Point? Why isn't he looking into Fort Huachuca? I believe he's ignoring all of these leads because if he starts looking into any of them, it will reveal that this is part of an ongoing military operation to interfere with US elections and benefit Donald Trump. That is why we are not getting justice. This looks like it has been going on all the way back to that photo in 2017 with Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer. Republicans like this idea of QAnon because it made them feel like the military was going to help them win the election. But the idea was that once Trump took power, he was going to dismantle big government and give the power back to the people. That is not what happened. It looks like he wants even more power. This escalated from 0 to 100 miles per hour really quick. And now we're having assassinations. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I do not want the intelligence agencies to interfere with our elections. I don't want the CIA involved. I don't want military intelligence involved. Elections should be decided by the people. Now, I would suspect that Donald Trump probably is not aware of everything that is going on. It is common for intelligence agencies to keep the president in the dark sometimes. But if Donald Trump is innocent, he needs to go down to Fort Huachuca and clean up this mess. Because it looks like to me like Charlie Kirk was murdered and it was not done by Tyler Robinson. I just want to end with this. I am exposing some very powerful people. Please share this video with a friend and help get this information out there. And if something happens to me, just know that I did not commit suicide.